Hey guys, today working on the daily. A part that's been buried on the workbench for quite some time, a rear wheel bearing. I just took the car up off the ground and wiggled the wheels back and forth. The right side feels just fine, but the left got a definite clunk to it, so that means the bearing is no good, especially for track use. So I'm going to pop off these 17mm lug bolts. After that, I got to take off the caliper slider. Then I have to take off the caliper bracket, then the rotor, then the bearing itself. Alright, so the wheel's off. I'm going to take off the slider. I cover this in my brake job video. It's a 13 here, and then you just hold on to this with like a vice grip or something like that to keep it from spinning. And once you've got that taken care of, the center portion of this just comes right off, and then you'll have access to these two 13mm bolts, and then the rotor will just come off after all that is taken off, so it's pretty straightforward, pretty easy. So the slider's off. I pulled the pads out, just set them off to the side here, and now the two 13s. So here we are, the wheel bearing. Does not sound good. So I'm going to take a standard screwdriver and a hammer, and I'm going to pop this cap off, slowly working it around the perimeter because I have to reuse this. And under here you'll find a very large hex nut, which we'll have to take off with an impact. So there's our nut. There was a 32mm socket, so I'll just pop that on there and ugga until she's off. Well, all I did was slowly pull the bearing while I had the impact on it, and it came right off. Don't forget there's a little washer right on the front there. You're going to have to reuse that with your new bearing. So there's the new bearing assembly. This one's actually a sealed bearing on the back side. So all I'm going to do gently get this aligned, and then these bearings are actually designed to touch inner races, so I'm going to very lightly tap only on this inner steel piece with my socket until I get the bearing seated all the way against the back of the knuckle here. It'll only take a couple of very gentle little taps. Slid right on, put the washer back on it, and then reuse your nut. You're going to torque this to 156 foot-pounds. I think that's the spec, and if it's not, that's what I've been torquing them to, and I haven't had a failure yet, so your mileage may vary on that one. But once you've torqued that down, just simply use a rubber mallet and hammer your dust cap back on, reinstall your rotor, your caliper bracket, your caliper, your wheel, and you are done.